Hello, welcome to episode 2 of The Watcher. I'm excited about this. My shows or my series are like children to me. So like your children, you don't have one that you like more than the other, but I absolutely love The Watcher because it's what I do. It's what I do in my free time. It's who I am. I spend quite a bit of time watching basketball. And I'm excited to be able to bring that to you and share that with you, share my passion and my journey with you here virtually and digitally. So this week was a full action-packed week for me in between work and getting out and watching the game of basketball. And I had the opportunity to see one college game and two high school games. We're going to talk about the one college game, obviously, and then the one high school game that I saw. There's two Division I prospects that stood out quite a bit to me, so we'll talk about them. But first and foremost, let's backtrack. Let's talk about the college game. I had an opportunity. Coach Tony Skinn over at Seton Hall. He's been a great guy. He's been when he's recruited my guys, He's always asked and talked about their character. He's never asked me the question that I hate, which is who else is recruiting him. He'll show his interest. We'll talk a little bit about, and then he'll ask, hey, what does the recruitment process look like? Or, where is he at from a decision-making standpoint? And things like that. But, that's after he's already identified whether or not it's a player that he likes. He doesn't gauge his recruitment on who else is recruiting him, which I think is something that happens a little bit too often in this business. Guys will fly under the radar because a lot of college coaches don't really trust what they see. It's more so, okay, who's recruiting him? Where is he ranked? Things like that. So Tony's one of those guys that, is a true evaluator. He trusts with his eyes, or he sees with his eyes, and he trusts what he sees. So I reached out to Tony. I said, hey, I'm going to be in the area. And I decided to stop in and watch those guys up close and personal. And one of the major takeaways I got from that is New Jersey absolutely loves Seton Hall basketball. As I pulled up, there was a huge tailgate, and there was nothing but blue. You could see nothing but Seton Hall blue. Everybody was excited about the game. They were excited about their team, and my level of excitement grew even higher as I stood around waiting and getting ready to go into the arena. And as I walked into the arena, the energy from outside carried over to inside. It was absolutely packed. It was electric. Everybody was excited. They were on their feet. They were cheering hard for their team. And I went into the game expecting to see a good game. I knew, you have Myles Powell going against Marcus Howard. I thought for sure it would be a scorer's duel. And that's exactly what I saw. But one of the things that stood out more is the energy and the passion that Seton Hall fans had. That was the same energy and passion that Myles played with. And he played a phenomenal game from start to finish. He brought things to the table that don't show up in the stat column, from his leadership abilities, from his energy. Just everything he did impressed me while I was watching him play. Marcus Howard had a great scoring night as always. But for Marquette, where they struggled at a little bit was the others. Their bench scoring was not there. Seton Hall, Coach Willard made several adjustments throughout the game, threw different looks at them. Quincy McKnight did a phenomenal job on Marcus, and Seton Hall was able to pull out the win. And I think that it was attributed to multiple things, but most importantly, I say number one, the heart and soul of Myles Powell. His fingerprint is all over that team. Number two, the adjustments by Coach Willard. You look at that second half. So the first half, there were some open shots, that were knocked down based off of, Marcus getting in the lane, kickouts. In that second half, you saw the defensive rotation. I didn't see any open shots in that entire second half. So, that was a Kevin Willard adjustment. He did a phenomenal job, changing that up a little bit. And his team pulled away in the second half. It was a great game for me to watch. I was excited about it. I guess you could call me a transplant Seton Hall fan. Don't start calling me a bandwagoner. I know how the internet does, guys, but I appreciated the style of basketball that they played. I liked the game. It was strong. It was just a different level of intensity on the defensive side, which translated to the offensive side. The fact that Myles Powell aggressively rebounded on the defensive side. It showed me that it wasn't just about scoring for him. It wasn't just about what he could do, offensively. And it carried over, and he got his team the win. And I think that's obviously the most important stat of the night is, did you win or did you lose? So that was, a great game. I had a lot of fun there. Prior to that game, I watched the Hillcrest Prep versus IMG game on TV. And I was blown away by many things in that game. Let's start with IMG, and we're going to talk about something that has nothing to do with basketball. You could tell that they understand and they get it. They get marketing. For the entire game, on either end of the court, whichever way they were going, the camera angle was pointed at either train here or study here. And that was huge to me because they literally used that as an infomercial or a commercial for the entire time that game was on ESPN. You saw their brand and their style of play on court, and you said, hey, I can go train there, or I can go study there, I can go to school there. So they did a phenomenal job with that. That's something that stood out quite a bit to me. Jaden Springer, wow. I've seen him play a couple times on the AAU circuit. But seeing him that night, I mean, he was just amazing. He had one dunk that he had just kind of took me out my seat at home. And it's not often that happens, that something will move me to get out my seat at home. But I was impressed with that team. I want to watch IMG play again. Hopefully I'll see him play live here pretty soon. And then I got a chance to go down to Virginia Beach yesterday and watch Virginia Beach Sports Academy. They've got two players down there that stand out quite a bit to me. Number one, Jariah Coleman. He is special. I think that as he figures it all out, as he continues to grow and develop, he could be a high major prospect. I really think the sweet spot for him, though, is mid-major. I think he's the type of guy that could be a MAC player of the year in 2-3 years. 7-foot center. He really can play that four, or that stretch four, which nowadays is like the left tackle of football. In basketball, that stretch four is your money position. He's your money maker. And this kid at 7 foot, he's got the touch to be able to score around the basket. Nice release on his shot. He can shoot it mid-range. He has the ability to shoot threes, but he also has the basketball IQ to not force shots and not force anything and let the game come to him. He shoots free throws well. He rebounds exceptionally well, blocks shots. I mean, he does it all. He's somebody that I'll look very closely at to see how he continues to grow and develop, and see where he lands and where he ends up. Whoever gets him is going to have, a project on their hands that, with a couple years of development can be extremely impressive. And then Jalen Williams. They had a point guard there, Jalen Williams. Jalen stood out to me quite a bit, and I really liked his game. I liked what he brought to the table. He scored, seemingly effortlessly. He could shoot the ball. He distributes. He creates for his team. Finished with 28. He's a high academic kid, which is why I love him even more. I understand he's getting some high academic recruitment. Some schools have looked at him. He's taken a couple official visits. I think he's a kid that's flying under the radar a little bit, that is gonna make somebody happy. But he's also gonna impact the classroom and the college community. So I think that he's somebody definitely guys should be looking at. So that was really my weekend at glance at watching basketball games here this past week. I'm really excited for this coming up week. Tonight I get an opportunity to see Howard University. Those of you that know me know that I'm a Howard alum. I cheer for all things Howard. Coach Blakeney and we've been talking since literally day one of him getting the job. We were on the phone. We talked about what that looked like, what that process would look like, and I'm excited to see how he continues to grow and build that program. So I'm gonna go check them out tonight. And then I get to head over to Indianapolis. I'm going to watch Lala Mir play on Thursday. And then on Friday through Monday, you'll catch me at, if not the best, one of the best basketball showcases in the country, Flyin To The Hoop. I'm excited for all the matchups that I'll be able to see there, from Hillcrest Prep against ISA to Huntington Prep. First Love will be there. Prolific Prep, St. Edwards, Brush, Garfield Heights, Milton from Georgia, you name it. I mean, this is going to be an action-packed event full of, ranked guys, full of guys that nobody knows about, but after this, they will be known about. I'm excited. I'm excited to see some of those guys, those under-the-radar guys. So look for that next week. I'm going to bring you, some of that. We're going to talk quite a bit about that event because I think that it's an amazing event. I think it's a well-run event. Eric Horseman does a phenomenal job with that. I've been at it for the last couple of years here. I'm excited to be back here this year. So that's that's my week in a nutshell. That's a glance at what I did this past week, what I'm going to be doing this next coming week. I thank you guys for tuning in. I'm excited to be able to show you what I do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis and bring that to you. I've been in 6 states so far this month watching basketball. Looking to add 3 or 4 more. So let me know where I should pull up to. Let me know, the biggest games in your area, the biggest players in your area. Let me know some guys that you feel are flying under the radar that can play at the next level, and I'll make sure to get out and check them out. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll talk soon.